I've kind of known about Double Jeopardy for quite a while. I mean, just reading Tony's guidebook, and just looking at these legendary hard trad routes, it's sort of been this, yeah, it's had this sort of aura of grandiose and super hard, impressive trad climbing above anything I would ever do. And so it's always been in my mind. And yeah, since moving to Cape Town, eventually you kind of, if you start climbing hard enough, run out of hard sport routes to do, or start running out at least. And so, in order to continue with some good quality roped up routes, your attention kind of inevitably turns to Table Mountain.
That's right.
And so, yeah, with the inspiration from Ben as well, the two of us sort of paired up and decided that we would undertake to try and knock down as many of those hard trad lines as we could. So Double Jeopardy was the first one that we attempted.
Okay.
Our process was just to start ground up, and that was largely thanks to Ben.
Wow.
So I mean, we would rail in um, from the. I mean, we this first part's a bit insecure, so we'd rail in from the um. Oh, I could blank on the name.
The roulette
The
rail.
roulette
Yeah.
rail.
Okay.
Roulette.
Um,
Yeah.
the roulette rail, yeah, and then we'd place some pro there. But yeah, so with this, it's a bit insecure until you kind of get it dialed. So you start with a
Mm.
peg, place a cam,
Mm.
and then unclip the peg below you for rope drag.
And you don't clip this
And
peg
then
there at your feet.
I know other guys place. No, we don't.
So you
So yeah,
unclip the
you
first
probably
peg.
would deck if you came off.
Yeah,
You unclip
there
the
you would.
first peg for rope drag, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you've
Okay.
got one Cameron, so you've got one piece. Um,
Just for
yeah.
everyone's reference,
So
I
you don't
think
want to come off.
there up to where Jeremy is now, we have clipped at least four pieces. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the two pegs and two pieces of gear. Yeah,
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
but
So
we didn't place a piece there
again,
where
I,
you're
I blame that
placing
on
now.
climbing with Ben.
That's
One piece,
okay.
it's more than enough.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, it climbs pretty well, and you just kind of hold
Mhm.
on until you get to the sort of halfway rail there, and then we plug that with two cams. If I remember, it was a red and
Okay.
a purple, I think. And
Okay.
then put a massively extended sling, I think a 180
Mm.
meter sling on a 60-meter sling
Oh
with a
wow.
Oh
draw on the
wow.
end kind of thing,
Jeepers,
just
that's
massively extended.
So very, very long.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it might be slightly overboard, but yeah, just
Well,
just
that's your
reducing all
like.
all drag. Yeah, and then probably one of the most relaxing rests I've had on a
That
sport
look
route or on a roped up route.
straight
Um,
down, flat on your back, nap,
so yeah,
nap
discovered.
time. Oh, I see that. So
Yeah,
I
so
see
this
now the
is
video was
full chill
paused
mode.
there a bit.
yeah.
Yes, I think so.
I
Yeah, I
could
was lucky enough
never
to
relax
that
there.
Aiden Bennett came
I don't.
through.
Yeah. No, because
So
I
Aiden's
thought
actually
you
filming
didn't
this,
rest that
and
long.
yeah, and I think he paused him.
Mm.
Oh, right. No,
No,
full
because
10-minute rest. We timed
oh, is
it.
it a 10 minute
So
rest? Because at the top rail, we'll see later. He didn't pause. They got the full rest in.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I didn't really
Nice.
make
Zoom.
a note to everyone below that I was gonna rest.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so this then you travel along the roulette rail a little bit, and this is still pretty juggy. You place a gold cam in there, and be sure not to jam it too deep
Okay.
because it's been overcammed twice
Oh,
on different
yeah, because
occasions.
Yeah, we
we
placed a
placed a
And
red.
then
red. Yeah.
okay, okay, and then yeah, purple on the roof here as well.
Purple.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know my size numbers. I just know colors.
Yeah, that's
That's good.
fine.
It's
I'm
much
also better with colors than
quicker
with numbers.
identifying color than numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this part, I don't know, some people can get a shakeout in this bit, but I never could. So I could not hang around here.
So
Basically, it was just you just go.
yeah, you're in the
Wow.
side pool. You don't go to the right and to the juggy bits. Oh. Although the side pull is quite juggy.
It's fairly in cut, yeah, but just get through
Yeah.
you as quick as possible, I think.
I shook
Yeah.
out there for a while. That was my main
Yeah.
rest. I couldn't lie
Oh,
down. Like I
really?
couldn't find the knee bar. That was super uncomfortable for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Um, and now you're approaching this part. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Going
that
to
cross through move past the peg is like also super sequency
the.
to get
Yeah.
that dialed. Yeah, and then this is moving into the crux. Um, and yeah, the famous alien here, I don't actually place.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a funny story around that. I'm not sure if I should tell that now.
Yeah. Can,
Yeah,
can
Um,
we
go ahead.
we should actually just maybe even pause the
if you want
video.
to
We could
pause it
see.
quickly, I can.
Yeah.
I can pause.
Yeah, so
The
just
yellow
explain about
alien
that. So, I
story.
mean, there is the famous yellow alien that I think originated from Jimbo and Joe Mole trying it, if I read their interview.
Wow.
Um,
Mm.
and yeah, so Ben and myself didn't have one of those. So we found a point 0.4 silver wild country, which worked. And I thought it worked pretty well until I have subsequently used the yellow alien, and my goodness, is there a massive difference? That yellow alien sits so much better than that
Okay.
Okay.
wild country. That wild country was
It's
like
confidence
50% of the
inspiring.
time, I think it would help. It's way more confidence inspiring having a yellow alien in there. But needless to say, so we were placing the silver wild country. Ben, who is a lot heavier than I am, actually never fell on it. I was the only one who worked on it.
Okay.
And it held some of the time and not all of the time. And I do owe Ben an apology because I whipped on his silver first and I kind of bent that. And so when we went again, I brought mine and I whipped on that as well and bent that one. So, um, fortunately, Ben sent on the Wednesday before I went, so he had a functioning silver cam. But when I came
Okay.
back on this day, my silver was broken. And so on my first attempt, this is my second attempt. On my first attempt, I went up and I got to the place where the silver cam should go and it wouldn't fit anymore. And
Oh
so
wow.
I was trying to place it, and it wouldn't fit, and I was pumping out, and eventually I just decided screw it and just kept going. And unfortunately, by that point, I was completely pumped out and trying to move through into the undercling, just let go and fell on the peg. And so
Jeepers.
this my second go after a bit of rest, was I just decided to leave it behind and just skip that and then move up and place the knight.
And did you
Okay.
decide that?
Subsequently, when I was trying Triple Jeopardy, I decided to try this better again. And I got through there and not placed the silver. And when I got up to the nut, I found I'd picked the wrong nut size as well. So at that point, about a
Dude.
week ago, I didn't have the silver cap or the nut above.
All the nuts.
Um, Tried to go through, pumped out, took the whip onto the peg. So that was probably the biggest whip I've ever taken.
Jeepers.
And just a
Um,
side note around that pig. A while ago, was it the beginning of the year? Danie was working Jeopardy into the squid ending,
Yo.
and he pulled out the pig. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
kind
when
of
I heard
just
that, I was
put it
quite
back in.
worried.
Moving past it, I just saw it just kind of like just leaving, and then
No
yeah, I
ways.
was I wasn't confident in carrying on. I wasn't too
Well, luckily
keen.
you've got the gold and the purple below, so that was what I was counting on if
That
that
is
went.
true.
So
A quick question.
So
So you
yeah.
said like after your first attempt, you came down. Did you just clean everything off that peg?
Yeah,
Like, how did you?
no, I mean I think I went up to the rail just above,
Okay,
and just
and
clipped
then
into
just
the fixed nuts, came down,
okay.
and then just had a quick rest lap on Jacobs with my dad while I recovered,
Oh,
and then
nice.
came back and
Active
tried again.
recovery.
Active recovery is what I called it,
Half the
yeah.
grade active recovery.
so
Yes, that's
Yeah.
hectic.
just another question on the Triple Jeopardy fall. Then where did you whip from onto the peg? Past the nut.
Um, from I was past the nut, yeah. I was sort of I from the undercling moving to the Gaston, and then I think going
Okay.
for the sloper, I just couldn't hold the
Okay,
Yeah.
sloper with the right hand.
the
It's not too much
sloper.
higher, but Yeah, yeah,
That's a decent
yeah.
whoop. Nice.
That was
There's
quite sizable.
actually
That was good
so
fun.
much
Yeah.
to talk about and discuss. Like almost like every person does each move differently. Like I mean,
Yeah.
where was the actual main one move crux for you?
Right, yeah. So for me, it was kind of became a red point crux moving into this undercling
Okay, okay,
from here. Ben did it incredibly easily, I think having the reach and a bit more power. And it took
okay,
me I had to go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and really actually watch Flip's video
okay,
and analyze that better and get that those feet dialed. And I think that makes all
okay.
the difference.
Getting
And
the right
subs
foot up on that bread loaf and then just like
Yeah,
standing up.
so exactly.
That
So
was
kicking
hard.
the right foot
Okay,
out right and then getting using the crimp actually on the face before you go
Into
up
the
into the
front.
undercling,
okay,
and then bumping the left foot up, sort of to where the alien sits on that little
Mm.
edge to be able to stand
yeah,
up into it and just with
Sure.
that
Okay.
height
So
finally be able
yeah,
to crank up
yeah.
to get the foot onto the bread loaf,
It I almost found it to be a
rather than being in
leg
full stretch.
crux.
leg
Like
crux.
it's
Yeah.
as if a leg
It is a
like
bit, yeah.
I find all my like my hardest things are always like it's either a foot move or a leg move. Um, and like it was just like doing a pistol squat with the right leg, and like goodness, like I found that hard.
Yeah. And it's
So
so body tensioning as well because you're so outstretched. And so,
yeah, you
to
can't pull. You
find, to
just have
try.
to like it's just sitting there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's it. So we continue.
Cool. Yes,
Cool.
please.
So we can resume.
Yeah. So they're placing the nut. I broke a nut
This
falling
is placing the
on
nutshell.
that once. Yeah. And
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, the red
So
point crux for me was that the higher this undercling that you said you fell from on triple,
Yeah.
or really I fell quite a
Yes.
few
Yeah.
times reaching for the hook rail, um,
Okay.
which, but yeah, endurance is my problem
Yeah, we would
always.
we were doing this a separate way as well until I watched your
Okay.
video, and then I found going left hand Gaston and getting the high right foot, which feels super awkward initially,
Mm,
was best
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that beta is very much
Um,
like mine right now. And
okay.
then
Yeah, so that worked really
hook
well.
rail.
Into
Yeah,
the
so then
hook
you get
rail.
into the hook rail, and this is the thank God rail, and you just
Uh,
traverse out right and slot two super bomber hand jams,
yeah.
and try and get as much back as humanly possible. Yeah, I was
I
doing it
see.
with
Yeah,
crack gloves, which were
climbing with
help.
gloves. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
Good
So
rest for
I think
there.
there are
Yeah.
2 or 3 places that crack gloves come in especially useful, and this is certainly one of them. Yeah, so this is quite a long shakeout here. Try and get everything
Yeah.
back because yeah,
Yeah.
the next section, as you guys I'm sure well know, you just launch into. It's not super hard, but there's absolutely no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever fall there, or like I mean, what was it like leading that the first time?
So I mean, the first time we got up there and just looking up into the blank expanse above us was super intimidating.
It is. It
Um,
is.
and I kind of take it as a point of pride that I mean, I got further than Ben on the first couple tries.
Oh
There's quite a funny
wow.
clip of Ben just jumping off beforehand. Um,
But it is. It's the head wall. Like it's the main head wall, and then it's that second head wall, and it's heady. Like it's.
Intimidating.
I mean,
Very. Yeah.
the climbing isn't hard at all, but like the
But
angle just steepens,
it's
and
also these
it messes with your
underclings
mind.
that's rounded
Yeah.
underclings that you don't feel very stable, and the feet is
No.
you have to pick the feet.
Like you pushing
Yeah.
and smearing. It's not like
Yeah. We've got on the final traverse.
oh yeah, on the
we can
infamous
actually just
last traverse. So did you guys place gear in
yeah.
this last traverse?
No, we can actually pause and then we can just like because that little piece of climbing I feel it's short, but it's very important. Like it's
Fun fact, we actually never went to the top until our sends.
oh
So
Oh
we
wow.
wow.
never actually started up the top section until until the actual go that we sent.
Like meaning the top where
That top
you go
traverse.
around, or
the
yeah,
traverse,
that
and then yeah, the traverse. Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I would have been so
I
nervous
would
not
never
having
be able to
rehearsed
do
that
that.
like you did.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like we
I
just
need
absolutely
We
just
heard the
bump out.
story of who fell off the top.
Willem.
Willem.
Oh yeah, it was Willem. It was
Just
Willem who
keep
fell off the top.
going.
And I was like, we need to work it,
No.
and then we just never got around to it.
What was going through your mind like at that point, having you like arriving there, knowing like Willem had fallen there on his ascent,
Yeah.
on his go, and like I haven't practiced it. So like, I mean, what
Yeah,
was?
I mean,
Or was it just blank, calm, like
it
zenith,
wasn't
like this is
blank
fine?
calm, but it was kind of this just has to go. It was sort of a mentality of just like I can't fall, I can't back down.
Okay.
I had actually been up once before to check it out, and then just got too freaked out and just down climbed.
Which is also
that
very
was kind of-
scary.
Yeah.
because we didn't place anything, so we had to top out and then back climb all the way down to the sling.
Yes.
So that was yeah, it would have been quite a big fall. But yeah, on the send go, it was just like you just had to suck it up and just do it, basically.
Yeah, man.
That's cool. Nice. Now I know what it looks
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. Because I got my dad to belay me on the send, so that was pretty
That's
special.
super special.
Thanks,
Man.
guys.
Sweet.
That
Cool.
was
Thank you so
awesome.
much.